told you that I want to run away. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nia. If you're new, welcome, nice to meet you. Make sure to subscribe and join the family. Today I'm going to be walking you guys through my process of what I do before I actually paint. So from the sketches, from the inspiration to sketches to the different ideas that I come up with, to the practice runs, and then to the actual final piece. So I actually have an example that I can show you at the moment, so I'm going to walk you through something that I've already done, and then we're going to go step by step through it with a completely new painting together. So let's go. So this is a piece that I did started yesterday and I completed it this morning. It is my first mixed media piece that I have done in forever, and also the first time I've ever painted somebody. So this was pretty crazy, crazy exciting in a good way. I'm not over the moon about it. I think it's really good. I think it's a really great start and I'm really happy with what I've created, but I know I can do so much better, and I will be. I think the only thing that lets it down is that I put a little bit too much black in the background, and that's kind of making it look a lot darker than what I would like. So, but I do like it. So let's take you to the beginning of how I came up with this piece. So it all started off with this picture that I saw on Instagram, Glamour Girl, and I said, yes, I am going to draw this at some point. So I took a screenshot. I'll insert the picture in the screen so you can see it a lot better. Then I did my first sketch of the piece. It doesn't look as good anymore because I've went over it a few times, which you'll see in a bit. Well, I did a drawing of it that I thought looked okay. I was just getting the body proportions, and I was actually planning on drawing it exactly as I saw it, but then I thought this outline looks really cool. I could do something with it because I like how the different parts of the body, like the different curves and the grooves, are really defined, and I feel like I could attempt to do my painting from that and try something new. So I transferred it over to this page because I was going to do a test painting in there, but then I decided to do it in this big sketchbook here because I just saw my opportunity to do a painting. So I started off by just painting in the body, and I was very excited with how it looked. So then I just built my whole idea off of that. I just drew some circles, my signature circles. Then I tried to use different types of media. So we've got the oil pastels, we have acrylic paint, we have the paint pen, and then I did like a few scribbles, a few lines. Then we used some Indian ink as well. So I was just trying a whole lot of different things, and when it all dried, I envisioned having some sort of a quote or a passage or something written on the top. So this is some lyrics from one of my new songs, which I will be releasing very soon. It's just going through its final stages. So that's one of the lyrics from there, and I literally just transferred the paper over again onto here. I just used this transfer paper. And then I got all of my ideas down, and then I transferred it again over to this piece here. Well, I painted the background first, then I added a bit of papers and stuff like that. Then I drew the circles, transferred it over, painted it in, and filled in all the details. So that is just like a basic run through of one of the ways that I do paintings. Usually it's not with a reference. Usually I'll just come up with some idea in my head. I'm like, oh, I need to do that. Like, my sketchbook is filled with so many ideas that I have for different paintings. So sometimes I even think of the canvas, like what shape is the canvas, then I'll draw the shape of the canvas, and then I'll just draw my ideas in there and see if it works, or if I have any ideas, I'll just draw it down and see if it works. And then if I find it interesting enough to pursue, then I will dedicate a whole page to it where I'm testing out different colors. At first I started testing out colors with coloring pencils, and then I transferred it over to actual paints. Whatever mediums that I'm going to be using for the final piece, I will test it in there to see which one works, see if there's any different types of paint brushes that I might want to use, different techniques, or just anything that I'm thinking of, anything that I want to experiment on. I want to experiment it all in my sketchbook because I don't want to ruin the final piece. And when I say ruin the final piece, I don't mean that I'm very delicate with my work, that I don't allow any mistakes to happen, because that's not creative enough for me, especially with my type of art that I prefer to do, which is abstract. That's my main category. So I love to experiment with those kinds of things. But then in terms of using like expensive materials, like using the canvases and, you know, using more paint and more different mediums and stuff than you would in your sketchbook, I don't want to be using that amount of things, and I actually haven't got like a full idea realized, or I have no idea what I'm doing. Now don't get me wrong, sometimes I just get a blank canvas and then I just go at it and see whatever I create, and that's fun for me. Quite a lot of my art is done that way as well. But when I have an idea or something specific that I actually want to do, that's when I will plan it out, because there's a specific idea. I need to figure out how I'm going to do it. So without further ado, let's get some ideas. Let's just get this creative juices flowing, and we'll see what we can create. And I'll take you guys on the process of what I do to plan my paintings. So I'm just turning the page in my sketchbook, and I'm just drawing not even anything that comes to mind. I'm just drawing for the sake of it. And I wasn't too impressed with these sketches actually. Usually I'm a bit more on top of ideas, but I guess you have to get rid of the bad ideas first before you can get to the good ones, and that's exactly what happened next. I kind of really liked this little square piece here, so I thought, yep, I'm going to try and make this happen. And at first I was struggling a little bit, and I was thinking, should I just give up? But no. So I turned to Pinterest and started to look for some references, literally just for the arms, because I kind of struggle drawing arms and hands, but I want to learn. So I decided, let's not give up, let's challenge myself to do this. And this, I started off drawing without any references, and it was so difficult to find something that I could use. So I ended up, I think, taking tiny elements of about 4 or 5 different drawings, and I still couldn't find something that looked exactly like what I wanted to draw. So I had to just come up with it, and it ended up being inspired by that photo with the afro. So I just went for it, and see, it literally took a long time. Eventually I feel like I got it right. I ended up using my own hands as a reference to draw the hands in the air. So just use what you have. I ended up being really happy with how it looked. So just doing some finishing touches, rescaling different elements and adding in the finer details. And if you're not interested in using paints straight away, you can always write down what colours you want each section to be and what different elements you want to add into the final piece. At first I tried to use transfer paper for this, but I realised it doesn't actually work, so I had to redraw the whole thing. And now we're just gonna get into painting. So I've been listening to my Spotify playlist. As you can see, I'm singing along. I ended up thinking of an idea for a new element I wanted to add, so I just tested different sponges out on my sketchbook before I put it to the final piece, and I actually think it looks really cool. And this is what I mean by broken world. I wrote that in my sketchbook. This is one of the styles that I enjoy doing. Here is the finished piece, and it looks so much better than what I put in my sketchbook, I think. But it really does also look like what I originally wanted, so I'm really happy. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a massive thumbs up, and if you have any video requests or any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I'll get round to making them and answering them for you. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.